Good morning, guys. Bit of a, well, we obviously know what the market's trying to do today, guys. There's really no question about it. It's just a matter of timing it. Today is going to be a short day, obviously. All right, we have clear signs of this. So we're just waiting for an opportunity for a squeeze, maybe up to VWAP. A place where we could actually go short. Looks like we're getting the squeeze now. IB low could be a decent spot, but I think we'll go in some size here, and then we'll wait to go some size a bit higher. So this is going to be one of those markets where we're just going to get a lot of squeezes happening. ATR at 30, 110 PNF. That was perfect at IB low. Get some out. I do think we retest this. It's just typical Nasdaq though. Like, this is how I feel it. I could be totally wrong, but that's okay. Hmm. Technically speaking, we didn't really test the IB low. See, because the way CR chart works is when I'm on a 3-minute, it doesn't print at 10 minutes exactly because it's 3, 3, 3, 3. So I think it prints at 9 minutes or 12 minutes. I don't know exactly which candle. But when I'm on a 2 or 5-minute candle or a 1-minute candle, then it will print at exactly 10 minutes, which is, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the low. This is the IB low. So technically this is the exact IB low. The same goes for ES. So something I need to keep in mind. So like right now, if I go 3 minutes, you'll see that the IB low is lower, much lower, right? So it's funny that we took this trade at the 3-minute initial balance and ended up working out. Maybe I got out too early there. Let's see if we get the squeeze. Now back up to midpoint or something. We're back, just gonna get some coffee. So we don't necessarily want to chase a market like this. You want to be patient. You want to short the rallies, simply because it puts you in a much better position, right? So if I started chasing the market here at lows, I would have gotten stuck, and a lot of people are going to get stuck right now. So you want to get the squeeze. You want to get a big squeeze, and then you want to short the rally. And it doesn't matter where the squeeze is, but you want, because it's one of those days where it's like, it's incredibly bearish, guys. I don't know if this midpoint holds. I think the squeeze is pretty strong. I think you have a lot of people that are trapped down here. A lot of people that are trapped here as well. And I think this is going to squeeze them up. Let's try to find another midpoint. But this was around 930. This could actually work here. Oop. I think the squeeze is too high though. Just technically speaking, I don't think that this is... I don't think this will reach, if I'm being honest. This is another point of rotation, but it's not... It's kind of rough. ATR is pretty high. Maybe at 640, but 640 is a stretch. Right? You want to be short, like, yeah. We tested the VWAP. Let's see, put a 2 minute. Did we just miss this short? No, we didn't. Technically, IB's over here. And then we bounce back up off of VPOC. I think we bounce because the reason I say we bounce off VPOC, which is around 90, is because this is midpoint and because you have a lot of trapped shorts here that are wanting to get out, and I think they get out around midpoint, which is typically what they do. So we had a bounce off of VPOC. You want to see if this bounces enough to fuel a higher high. We're patient here, guys. We're not rushing it. There is no need to rush this kind of trade. So we definitely broke this. Yesterday was kind of wild. Yesterday was really wild. Holy shit. Where did we stop? That's one of those things where it was so volatile that it was not an accurate move. We stopped at, yeah, but it was kind of hard to, we stopped at this midpoint actually. Here, if you want to, but I think I'm moving goalposts with this one. I'm moving goalposts with this one. I don't think it's easy to. This one was quite easy, I guess. Right? Maybe not actually. Never mind. Yesterday was just wild. There was no way you could actually trade yesterday. It was squeezes on both ends. Crazy. Good thing I wasn't trading here. I don't think I would have. Well, I maybe would have made some money. But I think after seeing, I think when you're looking at an hourly and you see this wick on the hourly, this massive wick, that's just a squeeze. You know that's a squeeze. Not very structured here. Midpoint 660 of all of this. Well, a bit higher here. It's not very structured. It's like all over the place. I don't trust this too much. But we are trading well below last week's value area. We got rejected. So it's funny because we got rejected off of last week's value area over here. This was last week's last week's low. We broke last week's low, and then we kind of got rejected off of last week's low, as well as this week's low, really. Right, this week's low was right here, right? Technically, we broke it. We got rejected off of that low, which means markets don't want to be trading back within this week's range. So we want to create a new range, and we want to, you know, get lower here. So this is a 2-minute chart. I think on a 3-minute we hit the IB. On a 3-minute we did hit the IB. Eesh, I think I missed this trade. I definitely missed this trade. See if we get picked up off of here. Shit, I missed this trade. View app IB. Silly me. Let's wait for a nice little rally up to 1605 maybe. So it's funny how like I missed a trade and I'm waiting for a rally to 1605, right? It's like, oh, it's expected. If it happens, I expect it. But like, let's just say that I was already in this trade. What do you think I would have done if the if markets came back up to my trade? If markets came back to my entry, let's just say I got in at 1605. If markets came back up into my entry at 1605, I probably would have scratched. But here I am waiting for a re-entry, or here I am waiting for a retest of 1605 so I can enter. It's very important to recognize, actually. It's interesting. Your mind is different while you're on a trade. Very different. Although I don't think 1605 will hold. I think we could break this, actually. We'll see. I'm going on 2 only. Technically speaking, you have 20 with this low volume node, but it's not that. I don't think price moved down here pretty quickly. I think. So here is the thing. We could technically squeeze up till. Actually, there really is no point of squeeze. This is the only point of squeeze at 20 because of the slow volume. Let me see if I can get a pen out for you guys. But this aggressive buying is met with aggressive selling, though. It's going to be one of those trades where I'm just going to average in. Oh, somebody's chasing the market you see over here. I think it was yesterday where we saw that when somebody chased the market, but then pulled out, the market still went up. So here's technically the area. This is a big squeeze, guys. Don't be fooled by this. The squeeze at VAL could still technically break midpoint 40 and midpoint is still around 40 and midpoint, you can still start adding trades into this. This is one massive squeeze, not worried. Here, 40 would be a pretty decent entry, and then 55 as well. Because we made some money in the morning, we're not down too bad on this trade. Yeah, we're down like $100 per account. But I do think this caught a lot of people off guard, so we need to figure out, I think, okay, so we're midpoint on ES. That could prove to be the catalyst for Nasdaq. And an IB range of 70 is not that wide. Technically, this could still turn out to be a trend day. Sorry about that. It's one of those things where POC is down here below the IB. So everything is primed for a short, a very good short for us, simply because of POC being outside of the IB. And POC printed outside of the IB and is still outside of the IB after 10 p.m. Maybe I should have gotten out of this. See this bounce off of 09s right at the top? But it's one of those things where it's like, like, I think like going short is the right side of the trade. Obviously, timing is another thing. But going short is the right side of the trade. So you don't want to take off like, what, 4 points or 5 points just because you're worried that like it might rally back up. We're well within our risk management. Yeah, I don't think we bounce back up off of this. So I like seeing this though. I like seeing the rotations be shorter in the sense that we came off. Came up. Came off. We bounced off of here. We came up here. We bounced a little bit off of here if you noticed. But the bounce wasn't enough to create a new rotation. I think we stopped somewhere around here. And now we're coming back down. Right? These are rotations. This is what it means to read the market and order flow. This is order flow. In my honest and humble opinion, this is order flow. Order flow is not, so if I had like a 1.8 PNF, you would see this actually. Let's see if let's do it. Let's do it. Maybe a 1.6 PNF, but like, yeah, you see this? The rotations are lower. Let's do a 1.6 PNF. Sorry, I'm a little bit sick, guys. You see on a 1.6 PNF, you're creating this lower rotation trend line. Right? Obviously, I don't need a 1.6 PNF because I can, at a 110 PNF, even at a 110 PNF, I'm able to recognize because of the price ladder, simply because I remember where we bounced off of the prices. But on a 1.6 PNF, you see it a lot clearer. You see this rotation back up. Like, always follow your eyes. Bounced off of here. Big squeeze. Came back. Very slight pullback. This is a slight pullback compared to here. Come back to this same area and look at the pullback. Technically, this is the pullback for reference that you need to look out for when we bounced off of here. But this pullback was so short. Look at the difference between here and here. right? Come back down, a pullback. We're still technically lower than this rotation. We came back down. And not only this, but we rotated lower than this bounce. Short pullback, back down, short pullback, back down. Rotation for location. Entry on this trade wasn't the best, but it wasn't the worst. It wasn't the worst. And I even called 40. Didn't I call 40? God damn it, Greg. What is wrong with you? Be humble. Be humble. Stop bragging. Stop bragging. See? 40. 40 was midpoint of this. It was this one was kind of hard to see. I just took half off at POC. This one was kind of harder to see, but because I don't think this rotation was way too high. I really don't think we squeezed up to here, but it was still a possible, point of reference. I just think this this rotation made a lot more sense, even though it was kind of, choppy-ish. Perfect at the 40. Ooh, ooh. No, no, we don't want to see this. We don't want to see this come back up here. Well, good thing we took half off. Okay, we're gonna create a lot of rectangles today. And these are the types of days I'm very good at. When there's a lot of, what's the word here? Not volatility, maybe volatility. What's the word I'm looking for when there's a lot of chop, I guess? Well, this is not really chop because the direction is quite clear. But when there's a lot of this type of moves, then I'm very, very good at drawing these rectangles and boxes and stuff like that. I do think we test VAL. I'm just a little bit upset that I'm not sizing up on these trades, but this is day 2 of the funded accounts. I don't want to go hard, but I think that's the wrong mentality to have. But hey, whatever helps me take better trades, right? I think I've been burnt from the past few days. I don't know if you guys were watching Monday and Tuesday, where I sized up too hard and I blew out my accounts. Um, those were the evaluation accounts, right? The practice accounts, where I blew those up. But still, it kind of takes a hit on your confidence. All right, that's it. We're out of this trade. I don't want to see a bounce off of here. So what I could do is I could potentially chase this, depending on price action. We made more money today than we did yesterday off of 2 trades. And I think that's expected because of volatility and ATR. So here's interesting. Okay, guys, watch this. I don't think we make a new low. Although I don't want to be buying this market right now. I really don't. Just look at ES. Look where ES is compared to where NASDAQ is. ES is here. NASDAQ is here, right? This is ES's low. This is NASDAQ's low. Something's out of balance, right? Just look at that. Look at the low comparison, right? And look at this. There's a divergence happening, if you want to call it that. So what could end up happening, or what we want to see happen, if we want to go short here, what we want to see is we want to see ES edge closer and closer to its low, and Nasdaq starts ranging here, that would be a good sign. On that note, I'll be right back, guys. Yeah, so just as I expected, right? You don't want to chase going short here, but at the same time, because it's such a bearish environment, you also don't want to you don't want to go long. Like, so the old Greg would have um, surely tried to go long and tried to fade a clear bearish market, simply because it's just my nature. I like to prove people wrong. I like to argue. I'm a very argumentative person. Um, it's just who I am as a person. So, you try to just, oh, the market's going down. Well, no, it's not. Type of crap. So it's funny because I would want to go long here simply because you saw this little dip. It's like, okay, let's I want to do something here. Put a rectangle here. No, I don't like the rectangle. Um, what can I do here? Tools. We'll do a little circle. No, we'll do an arrow. Oh, I don't know. Let's do a line. Just to kind of, okay. So the reason why I wanted to put this line was just as a point of reference. It's just for me. It's just a point of reference. It's just to show me that it was this candle where we reversed on ES, and it was this candle where we attempted to make new lows and reversed on ES. So it's just going to show me that any dip in ES, if Nasdaq is not at this point, then the divergence is still on. Get what I'm saying? Like, we saw a very slight dip to here, right? It was this point we saw a dip, and on Nasdaq, this dip was like maybe here or here, right? So like it just goes to show you that we hadn't even reached this point of reference. I hope I'm making sense. I know I'm not making too much sense, but it makes a lot of sense in my head. But it's very important. It's very, very important to see that. So view up on ES. View up on ES could potentially, no, never mind. We're squeezing this, guys. God damn it, being sick sucks. I'm a lot better. Thank you for asking, guys. You're so kind. Yeah, like I'm gonna draw a trend line from here. No, what happened? Oh, actually, I don't need these. I don't need these at all. Grab this here. Technically speaking, this broke, but this is not a strong trend line. I think this shorter term. You know why? Because this is the session trend line. This is out of session. This is session. More accurate, I think. Oh. Nasdaq is at lows. Where's ES? Ooh. ES is closer to that point of reference, though. ES is a lot closer to that point of reference. I still wouldn't go long this, though. Yeah, dude. Mark, you just want to you want to short the rallies. On a day like today, it's a clear downtrend day. You're gonna get a lot of squeezes though, but you just want to short these rallies. See the squeeze? It's very important though to realize, like, by looking at ES, if you're trading Nasdaq and if you're looking at ES, this is for me at least because I trade Nasdaq. It's this point over here, right? This little point of reference. Oh, what do you trade? It doesn't matter. I just like the 3 minutes. I trade rotation mostly. I trade PNF. You trade very short time frames, or are you saying the 3 minute is a very short time frame? Ah, you trade shorter time frames. That's cool, man. I like that. I like that. That's why I trade point and figure. I trade rotation-based charts. This is not based on time or anything. This is just based on rotation. So very important to see what we do over here. If we break 610, or if we bounce off of 610 to take 640. I think it's dangerous here. I think we could see a shift in dynamic for today. We can get a bigger squeeze than we did over here. And again, it all comes down to this point here that kind of tells me a lot, right? When Nasdaq was trying to make a low of the day, ES was not even near its low. ES was like a few points, maybe like 6-7 points off of its low here. Right, so when ES is off of its, like, ES is like 7 points off of its low and Nasdaq is at its low right here, there's a divergence going on. And to me, it's like that's like a clear sign of just going long. Not long for the day, but long for the trade. Well, technically speaking, what ended up happening as well is we kind of defended the open, right? Like where did we open? We opened here on SPY 3795. Yeah, 3795, and we did even cross the open. I think if we cross the open, it's lights out for shorts. So far we're still kind of bearish, but it's what we do at the open here. It's what we do at this price. So if you're a very short time frame trader, how long do you kind of hold your trades for? Just a few seconds to feel. I like that. You're kind of like me. Well, I try to keep it a few seconds to a few minutes, but for example, today, yeah, my average time in trade was 6 minutes. I guess that's definitely not a few seconds, but I try to keep it around this range sometimes, two to five, 2 to 6 minutes. So do you trade options? I might look to trade this breakout. I think it would be. I like this whole thing called rule of thirds that I learned from a trader. When you get a trend line established, you have 1, 2, 3. Or actually, maybe not. But essentially, what he says is that when you have a trend line and you have this bounce 1, 2, 3, at the third bounce, it's typically a breakout that happens. But I might want to trade this breakout if the order flow seems right. This one, this little rejection seemed too perfect to me. Oh, to break even on the price ladder. Yeah, I don't use keyboard shortcuts that much. I feel like I should. 575.80 on the Nasdaq, eh? Yeah. Well, let's look at it objectively, right? You have value area low over here. Market does not want to go below value, for now at least, right? Market's trying its hardest to stay within value. So you're right, we are trying to consolidate within value. Value area high, value area low. Consolidating between value. We're trying to establish, I think we found our balance here. Although my bias is still quite bearish. I mean, just look at like the hourly and the daily. I mean, I'm not a long-term trader, but I think you always have to look at the higher time frames. This is kind of fucked up. That's a little bit messy. Those are good points. What about Apple? Oh, Apple's also red. But not by much though. Less than 1%. It's all red, like it's all red. It's like I don't want to go long in a market like this. And for whatever reason, I'm not in a trade right now because I'm not too focused. I'll be quite honest. Or did they just go green? Well, Amazon's red, Tesla's red, Meta green, Google green. I think, yeah, it is consolidating. It's kind of range bound here for now. We're getting tighter and tighter here. So there's a lot of volume being consolidated here. Although I do think it's, I don't want to say this, but I will. I think that like the right side is the downside. It's the more obvious choice, and I think. But here's the thing, though: when it becomes more obvious, then you know, it doesn't typically happen in trading, but sometimes it does. Uh, like if you look at the weekly, okay, this is kind of messy here. Let me kind of erase some of these things. If you look at the weekly volume profile, we're trading well below last week's value area. So here's last week's value area, and right now we're trading here, right? Not only that, but we got rejected off of last week's low, right? And we got rejected off of this week's, well, when we made a new low, we got rejected off of it. So it's like market clearly wants to trade lower. Like it clearly wants to trade lower. Now the thing is it going to start ranging between here and here? That's one thing we don't know, right? Like that's the one thing that, you know, you need to look at the very shorter time frames to time your entries. Because like technically speaking, we can get another squeeze and we're still well within the range. Yeah, you keep saying another bounce off of 580, but then you're getting another bounce off of 609, right? 610s. You got to look at it from both sides. Although I really don't disagree with you. I mean, these things are very important to like take into consideration, especially as a short-term trader. These little bounces are so important because then you know that when you actually finally break that bounce, right? When you break that level on even on a short time frame, right? Then it's something significant. Because if you're looking at all these bounces and then finally you break this, you break that level. These are like the hidden support resistance lines, and I call them hidden because they're on a very short intraday time frame. These are like support resistance lines that you wouldn't be drawing necessarily on a 30 or a 1 hour chart. See, now we're back above 80. Back above 80. Could this be the squeeze? I can't go short here. If I go short here, I have a very shitty price. And I don't want to go long here because I'm going long on a day where on a day and in an environment where everything's just so negative. Oh, I like seeing this here. If I want to go long, I like seeing this here. A little imbalance. We should technically bounce off of here. Straight up. Straight up, we should bounce. Although the longer we spend, the less likely. But it's a weak market. Mm. So we gotta watch ES here. If ES breaks this point of reference, 76, 76, 75, I think it's a good chase on Nasdaq, shorting it. Oh, dude, did I get suckered in on this again? Fuck, I did. Twice. Twice I broke my rule going long. Oh, Meta's down 10% from like 5 minutes ago. So we just broke 76. There you go. 76, 75. We just broke that. All right, now we go short, I think. Although I do think that bounce off 72 was a short, and I ended up buying it like an idiot. But technically speaking, Nasdaq's at lows. ES is not at lows. It's big buying here. Big buying, big selling. All this buying and we still can't go up. I hate trading this type of price action where it's like, oh, yeah, the slow grind, you know, like it's going down, it's grinding down, 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 but it's not swift. So what's your style of trading, by the way? I take it you use Sierra charts, so you use price ladders and footprint, or like if you're a very short term trader, you got to use some form of order flow, no? I assume. Oh, okay. So how do you trade? I'll explain to you very quickly my footprint charts, just so that, next time you watch it, at least you know what you're looking at. So this is the way I use footprints. Like a lot of people, well, I mean, look, as long as you understand what you're looking at, because I don't want you to be watching the stream and being like, what the hell is this guy doing? There's a shit ton of volume here, though. A shit ton of volume. I keep preempting this. I keep like chasing the market, going long, and I said not to go long in a day like today. I'm typically around 60%. Like 60, 70%. But my issue, and I'll tell you straight up right now, dude, my issue is like risk management. My issue has always been risk management. Like for whatever reason, like it's taking losses. That's my biggest issue. Like right now, I should probably be taking this loss. We don't have the same amount of volume as we did on these previous rotations. Like we're back down here, but like on much lower volume. Fuck it. Just bad. You've written your own. That's so cool, man. Writing your own studies. There's this one study that I saw that I'm trying to figure out how I could do it, but I just don't know how. And I don't want to pay for another study, obviously. Um, but essentially, it's a verbal journal on Sierra chart, a verbal journal. So just think of it in a way where, let's just say, like you see something on your charts, or you see something on the footprint, or whatever, and instead of like writing like a written note about it, what you do is I don't know, you open the study and then you find a point, like you'll click here, for example, right? You get this little red dot. Okay, you click on it, and then Sierra chart allows you to record your voice at this point, right? So you can say something like lot of volume, market didn't push down, whatever kind of note that you want to put in. Instead of typing it down, you have a timestamp, the price that it happened at. Um, and yeah, and so essentially you have like a bunch of these notes on your chart, and you can just go back and click on them, right? You'll click on it over here, it'll pop up a little window, and then you can play your recording back, right? A lot better than, having to, I don't know, write it or type it down, or write it down in a notebook, because it's literally live as it's happening, and you can just click here, right? Maybe right click, put it in journal, and then yeah, I think that's very, very cool. Because a lot of times you see, like, if you want to go review a trade, a lot of the times you see certain things, um, but you don't you'll make a mental note of it, but not necessarily like a verbal note. Yeah, a verbal journal. It's literally a voice recording, right? You record your voice and you put a timestamp on it on the chart. No, 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 not the same thing. No. So what this was is, like, let's just say, like, it's a study, right? Let's just say I right click it. Uh, like, I right click, and then, like, maybe you'll have like a setting here that says journal, right? You click journal, and what that does is it creates a timestamp. It creates a Yeah, it pretty much creates a timestamp at the price or wherever you clicked. Let's just say here, right? You get this little dot that pops up, and then you record your thoughts at this price point, at this time point, and at this price point, you record your thoughts. And so when you're going back and reviewing your trades, let's just say on the chart, you're reviewing your fills, you're reviewing your trades, you come back, you click this little point over here, you double click it or whatever, it pops up a screen, like a little pop-up, and you click play, and essentially, like, you listen back to your thoughts at this point in time. It's much easier to journal your trades that way. Here, this is it. So essentially, like, over here, you click on this, it creates a pop-up. Yeah, whatever, you understand. Oh, I feel like such an idiot buying this market. Very, very, very wrong thing to do. One thing I don't want to catch myself doing is fading this market, just because I know myself. When you get this kind of chop, you start to think, oh man, this is clearly gonna reverse. Like, this doesn't want to go down. It clearly wants to reverse. I end up buying it, and then end up getting burnt. Yeah. So hold on, you never told me, how do you trade if you don't trade footprint or anything like that? Nice. Cumulative delta like of the day or cumulative, yeah, like cumulative daily delta. I see. So I don't know if you understood or I don't know if you caught it, but like the left side of my footprint is delta at price, and then obviously the right side is just a regular volume profile. I don't see many people use their footprint like this. A lot of them use like the traditional footprint where you have like bid and ask, but it's like how the hell can anybody actually like do the math in their head? So these rotations off of 55 are getting shorter and shorter. I think we break 55. We could test like 60, 62, or at the very least 70. 70 is value area, but I don't know how hard the squeeze could be, and that's like the that's what I gotta like watch out for, because the squeeze could technically go back to VPOC in a second. Like Nasdaq's like nasty like that. I'm not a fan of that. Maybe I did miss that short then. Something I didn't see. Yeah, I think there'll be buyers because of profit taking only. Yeah, I don't disagree with you there. I think because London session closes at 11:30, so I do typically see uh not reversals, but I do typically see like the other side of the trade being taken because London typically likes to take profit around that time. A bit of divergence here with ES and Nasdaq. Come on, come on, come on, pop, pop, pop to the upside. No, it's slow. It's a slow grind down. Slow grind downs are like hard to fade. Well, I know if I want to fade a market like this, my tights have to be incredibly tight. My stops have to be incredibly tight. My God. One of those low risk, low win rate, high reward type of trading. Just go take out 35. Take out 35 and we're good. Keep rotating off of 35. If we take out 35, I think we get a pretty decent like 15, 20 point reversal. There you go. Now we don't want to come back below 35. We catch everybody over here offside. All these market chasers. Back up to 50. I think we can hit 50. Come on. Flip it, flip it, flip it, flip it, flip it. Ah, slow, it's slow grind. Fuck me. This should have literally like shot up to 50. Oh, actually, maybe there's something I'm not seeing here. Technically, this is one rotation. Yep, 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 yep. This little consolidation ends up creating a midpoint. So like the resistance here at 44 is very, very like, it's normal. I know I have so many of these rectangles, but on a day like today, like you have no choice but to draw them because you have so many rotations on the way down. So resistance at this midpoint is quite common. I think in hindsight it was a good exit. Coffee time at 11:30? Hey, who am I to judge? I used to have like 3 or 4 cups of coffee a day, so I cut it down to just the mornings. But enjoy coffee time, dude. Thanks for joining. Thanks for participating. I love having people chat with me. I love learning about other people's styles. I hope you join again. I typically stream around this time daily, and I'm usually done by 12 Eastern. You know, lunchtime and everything. You don't want to trade during the chop. So thanks for joining, Mark, and enjoy coffee time. So can somebody please tell me why am I trying to fucking go long on a day like today when I said not to go long on a day like today? Also, if I was actually on my game, going long down here and exiting at here, that's an okay trade. That's a good trade. But if I was actually on my game, I should have re-entered short here. Because technically speaking, like if I'm buying here and I'm selling here, why am I not selling again? Like if I think that this is the end of the fade, why am I not selling again? Because, you know, of a short-term short move down. Right? These little things that kind of like separate really good traders from, I guess, intermediate traders like myself. It's these little details. It's like you're buying here, you're selling here. But if you're selling here, why aren't you selling to sell and go short? Bit of a fuckery. It's like a little bit of a mind fuck. So look at all this liquidity over here. We didn't see this before. 130, 170 at 505 and 500. I also noticed like the total amount of like bids, 1350, 1100 for the offers. I've realized that like when there's such a discrepancy between bids and offers, um, you typically have more people willing to market in. And the fact is that like you have more buyers at these levels down here that they're just not going to aggressively buy. Like you have more passiveness on the bid side and more aggressive and less passiveness on the sell side. So when you have less passiveness on the sell side and more passiveness on the bid side, the market typically tends to rotate downwards to try to fill these guys. It only makes sense. I mean, you have passive buyers. If you're passively buying, market has no other option but to go down. Also, let's not kid ourselves, man. The fucking Fed is hiking interest rates by 75 basis points. I mean, this is clearly a sell day. Like, clearly a sell day. Now, why wouldn't I just sell and hold? Very simple. If you sold here and you held for lows, you would have seen price come almost back to your entry. Besides, I probably wouldn't have sold here. I would have sold somewhere here. So you see price coming back to your entry, right? It's kind of a fuckery. If I sold here, came down, price coming back. You see, like it's not easy to sell and hold, which is why I love short-term trading. It suits my style better. I'm not a patient person. Although I do think this sell over here would have been the right one to go anywhere around here. Although you get a lot of rotations, but once you break this, you come back, support, turning into resistance. That's beautiful. And then you come and make a new low. Anybody make? I'm making money. I made decent money and then I lost it a little bit, but I'm still okay on the day. I'm not sizing up for. I think Monday, Tuesday really scarred me. So I'm trading what I like to call pussy size. I'm trading small size because of Monday and Tuesday. You know you're late, Hefe. I'm disappointed in you. You're late, sir. You're supposed to be here at like 10. I'm about to log off soon. Are you making money though? I hope you are. I think you are. So here's like the tricky part is that you don't want to go short now, right? It's like, why do you want to go short now at 11:30 when volume's gonna start dying out soon? It's like, fuck, I missed my chance. I made decent money the day, and then I lost it by trying to go long a little bit. But we're still in profit. I think the real trading opportunity would be maybe in the afternoon once we reach the IB low, because we've done this whole one-to-one extension. So it would be good to monitor what the market does if we do reach the IB low. Maybe go long, from IB low to IB high. It would be a nice little opportunity. Although I wouldn't go long now, right? But like you want to wait for that confirmation. How's your funded accounts going, Hefe? It shouldn't have been a stressful day though. Fuck, man. Why are you trying to like prove the market wrong going long on a day like today? Although I'm being hypocritical because I went long a few times. But we shouldn't have been going long today. Did you make money though? Dude, what ended up happening? You were close to breaking 3K funded and now you're at like 3,800? You sized up, didn't you? You bastard. You sized up. You fucker. Dude, don't ever do that again. Yeah, casually going from 3 to 30. Oh, get out of here. You're not welcome here anymore. That's crazy, man. Don't do that, dude. Those are bad habits, though. Those are, yeah, harsh words, but true. I'm sorry, man. I'm always a straight shooter. I even call myself an idiot sometimes. So, listen, all right, recognize that whatever you got positive, what's the word here? Positive reinforcement by doing negative behavior. I don't know what the fuck the word is, but technically, I'm back here to restore my honor. Fantastic. Listen, it's just very important to recognize that, like, yeah, dude, you made a lot of money, but you made a lot of money doing what I would think is the wrong thing because you don't typically size up that much. So recognize that something good came out of it, but let's be honest here, you got off the hook. You got off the hook, which is okay, but it's very important to recognize that you got off the hook and that you go back to your normal ways. So good shit for being at 3,800, like really good shit. You know, proud of you. But stick to your like instead of going from three, go to like 4 or 5. 4 or 5 micros because like you need to like what I'm gonna say this one last thing. Like understand why do you feel the need to go to 30 micros when you're almost blowing out? It's like that mentality where it's like, ah, fuck it. I'm going balls to the wall. I'm going all in because fuck it. I'm gonna lose anyway. Might as well, right? Dude, trust me, I've been there so many times where you just feel like, fuck it. I'm about to blow out. Might as well just go all in. I've been there many times before. It's like you care so little at that point, you know? What do we think of this? Do we think we're actually gonna break this trend line and like shoop? Because if we break 67, like, oof, we are blowing up. That's okay, man. You need luck in this game, bro. You really do need luck. But luck is not a strategy. So, you know, recognize that and don't try to like go for these big winners. But I'm happy for you, man. Good shit. Because now you've created this buffer, but it's I think the trailing threshold stops now, right? If I'm not mistaken. Like the trailing like the drawdown stops. Like can you remind me where it stops at? Yeah. Perfect. That's perfect. So now don't trade big size, dude. Trade slightly bigger because now you have more money in the account. Instead of going from three, go from four or five. Go very slow, and try to build up that way. Because dude, you shouldn't be going from 3,800. Like you shouldn't be losing that much money from 3,800 to 100. That's like 3,700. That's like $3,700 on like four or five micros. It's gonna take a lot of losing trades and a lot of stubbornness to lose 3,700. You pretty much passed like the light at the end of the tunnel. Like you're there. You're out of it. Now it's literally about growing the account at a steady pace. Steady pace, right? Not a 30 micro pace. Steady pace. I want to see us break this trend line. I think if we break this trend line, we're really going up to VWAP like hard. Like I don't think it's a far-fetched idea to squeeze up to 590. No more trading today, Hefe. You come back tomorrow. Oh, this fucking midpoint's really like a pain in my ass right here at 62. Break 62, you're gonna break 72. Easy. Easy. But I like the rotations here though. I like the fact that these rotations are shorter, right? Like below 46, I'm out. I gotta get out below 46. But I do think a lot of buying coming in. I really want to see this like plop up, pop up. And I'm going on pussy size though, but please don't judge me. I don't have big balls like Hefe. We gotta break this. We gotta fucking go. You're gonna have a lot of people buying this. Sellers are gonna want to defend this trend line big time. Fuck off. Let's go. Break it, break it, break it. Get a lot of trapped sellers here though. Fuck it. I want to scratch this trade. If anything, I can get back in at like 45 or something. You just want to see this pop, right? Like, you just want to see the pop up. Although this price action is a little bit annoying. Yes. Come on, above 65. Break this rotation, 66. Hey man, sometimes it works. What the fuck? You saw that? It just picked me up and then... Bastards. Come down maybe to like 48. I'll re-enter at 48. For fuck's sake, man. Look, if you have the account size to average down, it works. But you really need to have the account size for that to actually work. Go. I'm okay going long at 47. Maybe even 44. That's midpoint here. Fuck it. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. 42 is midpoint of this rotation, so you want to see this like take 42 and go, which is sort of what happened here at 45. I think now the higher we curl up, like if we go above 60, I think these guys are very, very trapped. This has a potential to really pop up. Oh, maybe not now. No, I don't like that rotation. It's just this right here, hovering right below the trend line. Short rotations. This is like, especially right before 12, you get that pop up to VWAP or POC. It's just what worries me is this little low volume node that we keep getting rejected off of 66, 67. Not very, very good here. If we break this with conviction, I'm adding on to this trade. I like the rejection though. Yeah, let's go. Let's go catch all these douchebags offside. Up here. All these like sellers. Above 58, above 60 is great. We got to go above 58 and then 60. Stop it. Come on. Rotate higher. Come on. All right, above 60. This is good. This is good. Broke that trend line. Obviously, we're getting rejected off of 60. That's fine. I love breakout trades. Come on, come on. I get so excited. I get so excited. Yes. This shouldn't come back down. I say shouldn't because we just passed by this low volume node. This shouldn't go back below 70. Continue up to VWAP, please up to 80, up to 80. I don't want this dip though. If it gets a dip to 60, I'm fucked. Like, I'm losing money. There you go. Up to there you go. Come on, come on. I know you have it in you, buddy. I know you have it in you. You have it in you. Let's go take some off. Oopsies. Cancel all. Bah. Forget it. It's fine. That was great. Good trade. Good breakout. Good breakout. Maybe you can go long here at 70. 70 here. This would be a great area to go long for that retest. You son of a gun. Did you really just up 73? Where's this low volume here? 69, technically. 70. Yeah. See this? You don't want to come back down below 70. Come on, come on, come on. Fuck it. Marketing in this. Oh, I think Mark's gone. He said he's going for his coffee time. Coffee at 12. Pfft. I used to drink coffee like 3 times a day. Oh, there he is. I'm back, baby. I don't know. Am I being greedy trying to go long again here? I think this breakout caught a lot of traders offside here. So they're probably going to want to start buying from this. No way. We shouldn't go back below 70. Like this little volume node, we don't want to go back below 70. You want to get rejected and then continue straight up. Like right here, these guys all here are trapped at this point. So like a bounce off of 68 could make sense. You think Mark went from 3 to 30 micros? I don't think so, Hefe. I don't think so. I do see a midpoint here actually. Yeah. POC is a, if we break this point of control, we're testing initial balance low. Yeah, I swear that is a, yeah, right. If I had a freaking dollar for every time I heard that. Do you want to know the number of times I told myself that that is the last time I scale? And that was not the last time I scaled? Let's face it, man. As traders, we are born assholes. We're born assholes to ourselves, not to other people. Oh, we're creating this P-shape profile here after breakout. A little bit of a creating this cliff or ledge, right? We don't want to go below this ledge. He's a short-term trader. I actually don't like the rejection off the POC too much. We need to see this pop above 90. If we don't get that pop sometime soon, I think we get rejected. Especially considering the type of day we're having. But this break of the trend line is nice. It's nice. And I think we start to curl up at the very least. We just need to see this trade above VPOC. And then you can go another 10, 15 points. Am I going to pussy out of this trade? Am I going to take profit too early? Yeah, I am. Fuck it. Fuck it. I got out of this trade. The sell-off here could be quite aggressive, if I'm being honest. The rejection of VPOC can be very, very aggressive at the very least. Retest the trend line. Because all these people that are buying right now can get trapped because we're having such a negative red day. Like nothing tells me that the dynamic has shifted between buyers and sellers to think that, okay, now we can start actually buying with conviction. Let's update the PNL. 780, not bad. Maybe get a bounce off of this imbalance. It's got potential. It does have potential, but I don't like the fact that the resistance up here was point of control. It's a very strong resistance, in all fairness. Like, let's be honest here. But we want to continue to monitor the initial balance, right? If we break the initial balance, you have a potential for a 70-point move up to the initial balance high. Also, let's do a little bit of fib. Interesting. Broke the 38%, hovering right below the 50. Interesting. I really do see I see the appeal to go long. Wait, am I missing something here? I can't see this wick. Oh, okay, 3806. Okay, there you go. It's fine. So ES is below the 38. Nasdaq is still right around here. But ES is weak. I think Nasdaq can catch up to this. Or catch down, rather. See ES? ES is coming off. But Nasdaq doesn't want to. Nasdaq's got a mind of its own right now. Whereas we saw weakness in Nasdaq more than we did in ES. Now there's more strength in Nasdaq than in ES. There you go. ES is below 70. Yeah, ES is below 70. Value area low is declining. Let's remove this fib. I'm not a big fib guy, but I like to use it just for context. Ooh, ES coming off hard. Nasdaq's very slow to come off though. Typically Nasdaq's more of the scaredy cat. Maybe we range between 60 and 70, right? Maybe we try to fill this low volume right here, like a 10-point range. I don't know. It's possible. I mean, it's almost 12. Either way, I think it's smart of me to call it a day here. Yeah, I'm gonna call it a day. 12 o'clock. That's typically the time that I get off. So Hefe, I don't know if you're still there, but Mark trades cumulative delta and volume. So he's a very short-term trader, few seconds to a few minutes. So I would imagine he does read price action. Let's take a look at some of the trades today. Yeah, 60% profitable. You realize that I'm typically 60%, huh? If you remember, Hefe, when you saw like my 2 to 3 month statistics back in the day, it was always around 60%. 60% win rate's quite decent. It's just that my risk management, as you know, is quite terrible. Let's see here. Average time in winning trades 4 minutes. Average time in losing trades 1 minute. That's fantastic. Unexplainable, dude. I know, I know, I know. But that's behind me now. I made that money back, but it's okay. This is something that I like to see as well. Although, like, I did size down today significantly, but I like to see my average quantity per winning trade to be larger than my losing trade. Oh wait, hold on here. Which means that when I'm losing, I size down. When I feel confident in a trade, I size up. Obviously, it's like very low discrepancy, but still, you don't want to size up on a losing trade. No, no, we're too dumb for options. I swing trade options though. Like I don't day trade them, but like I'll trade them for like a few days to a few weeks. Yeah, that bounce from 48 was VAL. Interesting price action going on here though. The market is rejecting the value area low. Market thinks that this is a pretty good value for now. But again, it is 12 p.m., so I don't think the big players are doing much. Yeah, ranging between this. We're trying to fill up this gap here. Let's not kid ourselves. I mean, this is a very bearish market, so just quick look at the hourly. Making lower lows on the hourly. It's very typical. I think we should start to be worried once you break this previous hourly chart at the previous hourly candle at 620. 620 is actually, what is 620? 620 is actually value area high. That's interesting. We break VPOC, we're going straight to initial balance here. And we know, statistically speaking, when you're making a one-to-one extension, right? Here, it's a 70-point range. When you make a one-to-one extension, which is this little red dotted line here, when you tag this line and you come back up to the initial balance low, when you break the IB low, very high probability that we retest the high here. Very high probability. Guys, I'll be honest with you. Fucking lunchtime puts me to sleep. I can't watch this market. So if I was a very, very, very patient trader, which I'm not, by the way, if I was a very patient trader, I would look at this level right here. And this is a beautiful breakout setup. Very, very beautiful breakout setup to the upside. So like I'll be sitting on hands pretty much like up until the point where we start to trade here and I see like the price action confirming that we're going to break out. It's too many reactions off of this point to not want to go long when the opportunity presents itself. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 times we tested this. This is also a pretty good area to go long here at 43. That's midpoint. Coincides with the value area low. The reason why going long here is such a good trade is because I think after a very, very, very bearish day, it's very clear that sellers are defending VPOC over here. So if at any point you see a break here, sellers are weak. Like they most likely gave up at this point. So you get a nice pop to the upside. I want to look at something here though. Chart calculator. Let's look at the buying tail versus the selling tail in terms of points. Oh, almost a double. Oops, sorry. So just here, this little PD point difference. Point difference. I like to look at these as selling tails, right? I mean, if you want to look at a traditional TPO chart, buying tail. So like we established this like area of volume and we pushed away from it, right? Creating the selling tail, meaning that we don't want to trade above it. And so when the selling tail is double the buying tail, sellers are more in control. Oh, I was thinking the exact same thing actually, Hefe. I actually have one evaluation on Lilu, but I've been focused more on the Apex one. So I hope it doesn't go to waste because it's like I only trade in the mornings and I want to make my money off of my funded accounts, obviously. Alright guys, that's my cue to leave. Thanks guys for joining. As always, Hefe, good luck. Stop being an asshole. No more 30 micro trades. Mark, thanks for joining. Thanks for participating, guys. I appreciate you. Hope to see you guys tomorrow. Have a good rest of your day.